What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the show with us. I'm Bryan. That's Lauren.
I'm Lauren.
This is a pug.
Puppet. A pug puppet.
A pug puppet. And he is happy to
Sterling's-
be here.
Sterling's pug puppet.
God, doing that, I felt like that guy from Twin Flames universe.
Oh, God.
I feel like he would do something stupid like that.
I mean, I'm assuming that everybody has to have seen that. Like, it came out, like... I don't know. There was one that came out on Prime, and then about them, and then there was one...
The
on,
Netflix one.
Yeah, I mean, that guy.
The Netflix one was crazy.
He's an Aries, she's a Virgo. Yeah, he's definitely a cult leader.
Yeah, 100% cult leader.
Like,
Twin Flame universe. That sounds crazy. So...
yeah, God, I feel like you want to talk about that since you went right into that.
No, I just honestly in that moment I felt like him after watching that, and I was
Why
like,
did he have a puppet?
I think he did at one point. I feel like I remember seeing.
I mean,
puppet.
everybody was his puppet.
Yeah,
to
for
be
sure.
quite honest. But I mean, like,
Yeah.
you know, he's, yeah, that's where it comes into play, right? Like psychology, psychosis, astrology, like. Neptune and Pisces has done a fucking number on the collective with this twin, which we've talked about many of times.
It's kind of wrecked people.
I mean, there just doesn't need to be any, like, well, A, label, and B, because divine connections are real.
Absolutely.
But I mean, it's just that.
They're typically mutual.
I mean, literally, come on. Anybody that's telling you that they are channeling.
I think if your divine union involves a restraining order,
oh my God.
it ain't the one.
And it's just like, I really feel like, what is Neptune and Aries? It's like, God, that's going to be probably like the biggest deception of like Neptune and Pisces. It's like.
Well, yeah, there's no mystery to Aries.
Because that they were like...
It's like what you see is what you get. So like all of a sudden, all the stuff that, you know, we probably imagined and dreamt up. Like Neptune, I feel like Neptune, especially in the beginning, is going to be like, psych. A little bit.
I mean, it's like watching that thing, I was just so... I'm like, this is why I'm here, is to like help not... like let people be in that like fuckery.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's even in astrology when you're like, yeah, it's a past life situation and all of that. It's just so what I would never tell anybody that, and I'm never going to say that whatever your experience was, like, I'm just never. It's like, I want to empower you, but I also don't want you to be delusional, you know? Who says you got to change your fucking gender?
Oh, man.
And like, I mean, it just went into so many avenues with them.
Change your gender. You're not straight.
And of course they had to
You
say
are
that
lesbian.
because it was like, because there was more women, of course, on their, like, following them. And they were like telling him, no, you have, you know, it's like, yeah, no shit. Everybody, like, right, contains masculine and feminine energy.
Yeah, 100%.
And it's just, yeah. So I don't know. That whole thing was like so beyond disturbing to me. And that, yeah, like, I mean, coming from a fucking Pisces, like, trust me, I feel like I have gone through every emotion and all the types of relationships without having to put a label on it, plutonic, like what everybody's in, this whole twin flame thing, they're all platonic karmic relationships.
Yeah.
Because a twin soul, a soulmate, let's just like go with that. A soulmate would not feel fucking toxic. It just wouldn't. Like,
it might
it's
have
so
moments.
insane.
I mean, I feel like it would
Hello,
still have
guys.
like moments of a normal, you know, sort of relationship.
Oh, thank
and
you.
3D stuff, if you want to call it that. But yeah, I mean, it wouldn't, like I said, it wouldn't involve a restraining order. You know
And
what I mean?
nobody would be telling you that's your man. Go get him. Like, yeah.
Anyways, random segue. We weren't gonna. That was not part of the plan, but it happened.
I know you really threw me off on that because you're like, "What do you want to talk about?" And I was like, "Well, damn, we could talk about that all day." But
we could talk about that.
But yeah.
I just want to say thank you to Chris Bryan. Thank you so much, bro. He hooked it up with this microphone and a sound card, a mixer for it, basically. And,
yeah, very nice.
You know, it is something that like bothered me about this show is we were sharing one mic, and I know the audio was bad. And then a couple times when we were at our old apartment in Dana Point, we were using another mic, and it was kind of far away, and it was just like we've never had good audio for this show.
Yeah, and I love this is like a pop singer mic. It's
this is like this mic is sick. This AKG.
Yeah, no,
this is like
very sweet.
A really good mic for music. People use it for drums, guitar.
Yeah. But
it can be used for vocal too. I bought a pop filter for it because if I blow too hard, it's really wispy. So.
Yeah, but I like it.
That's coming eventually. They're like out of stock, so. You would be surprised how hard it is to find a foam cover for this microphone on the internet right now. The guy from Sweetwater, where I ordered it because they finally had it. Amazon didn't have it. There were some used ones on eBay, but I was like, I don't like eBay that much. And then the guy from Sweetwater, after I ordered it, they said they had it, and then he was like, sorry, hopefully in December. Do you want to keep your order open? I was like, yeah, $9. Just send it when you get it. But thank you, Chris.
Yes, thank you so much.
And
that was very, very
helps everything.
Nice of you, and we appreciate it. And Bryan loves anything that's, electronic. Or,
had a blast setting up the stuff.
Yeah, that's his jam. Fun. So we really appreciate it. Thank you.
Got all the cameras set up. We got our phones working in action.
Yeah, I don't know. He was up here for a long time.
I had to update this phone for Lauren because we haven't used it in a while, and doing this Wi-Fi stream when the software is outdated really makes a big difference. Like, it's kind of crazy how important that is. Updates. We got to update. We got to update ourselves. We got to update our phones. We got to update our computers. Just got to update. Always update. We're going into Aquarius. Pluto. So how are you, babe?
Oh, just peach. I mean, Venus. Venus is on my Pluto. Spica Arcturus. I mean, South Node's there, so.
Yeah.
And
sure is.
Maybe that's what is so interesting, that it's like where it's at for me, my Pluto. It's like, why is it just going to hang out there for a long time?
It just does.
Because of
the
nodes,
decans. The nodes like come into a sign, and then they kind of go through the top part of the decan pretty quick, like the 29 to 23, and then they sit at like 23 to 21 for an extended amount of time, a few months, and then they start moving again, and then they kind of come through the top part of the second decan, and then they get to like 10 to 13, and they just kind of sit like 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 in that area for a couple months, and then they start moving again, and then it just kind of sits at 1, 0, 1, 2, 3. It's funny how that works, but that's how it works. So you happen to have your planets in the sweet spot. So yeah, if you have planets at the beginning of the decans, so like 0 to 4, 10 to 13, 14, and then 20 to 24 degrees, about when the nodes come through and you get the squares or the conjunctions or whatever, like you get a lot of karma.
My yod has like not had a break. And God, I don't even know how long. It's like it was fucking activated with the nodes and Taurus Scorpio. It was activated with the nodes and Gemini Sag. And now, I mean, listen, I'm going to manifest it at the highest. South Node is the past, and I'm not trying to call in anything from that. It's in my second house, though. in my second house, so I'm just gonna go with that. It's gonna be very fortunate in that it's really just like letting go of fears with things related to second house, right? And your self-worth. And but man, it's fucking activating that yod. And like that's the thing. It's like people with yods will understand and people with not that do not. Like it's not something you want to manifest at all. It's always a cry. Something needs to be something needs to be released to like move forward. When the North Node in Taurus was on my moon, I was like, fuck all this. I'm moving. And now I'm like, wow. I mean, like, thank God that the generation that I'm in with Pluto, it's on Spica and Arcturus, which are fortunate stars, but it's going to get, so it'll get away from my Pluto. And then it'll be on my Saturn Pluto. We know what that brought on, right? The spell, the pandemic.
No, Saturn Jupiter.
No, it's Saturn Pluto that brought on.
Oh, I know, but your Jupiter and Saturn are conjunct.
No, I know, and then it's going to sit on that too. Like all of my planets are in this pretty much 7,000 second house.
Not as hard as it's going to sit on your Pluto, but yeah, it's right there.
I know.
Hey, you got a lot of Libra. What are you going to do? You're in that.
I know. I'm always wanting that justice and balance.
Yeah.
And so it's and then Saturn's all up in my fucking 7th house, and so it's Godspeed.
Oh, there's Chris. Signs of Life.
Yes.
I know. I want to listen to that album, but you know what's crazy is I don't have a CD player anywhere. Not in my car that works, and then not in nowhere. I don't know. Like I have that album, and I'm like, what am I gonna do with it? I gotta figure out what to do with it.
What album?
He gave me an album. He's a musician and he produces. He's a producer.
Oh no, I know that.
And a teacher and I want to hear it. I don't have anything to listen to it on at the moment.
Oh, Miss Kip, a yod, YOD. You know, in the chart, if you don't have one, be thankful.
Be thankful. I'm glad I don't have one. I have one with my prenatal solar eclipse. That's at 7 Virgo. So it sextiles it's at 6 Virgo, and it sextiles my Jupiter in Cancer at 5 degrees, and then they yod my Venus in Aquarius at 6.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, most people that have yods, it's like their last incarnation.
Which is fitting, because...
You know what I mean? So...
Relationships have definitely been an interesting part of my life, to say the least. Learned a lot about myself through relationships. That's for sure.
They've been very, very interesting for me as well.
I think most of us at this point have definitely... I think especially once you get into your 30s, you really start to kind of reflect on your relationships up until then. And I would imagine when you get, into your 40s and 50s, there's more of it. But
I feel like especially after your second nodal return, because I'm
especially
telling you,
after
life
your Saturn
just changes
return.
For people after that.
It does. Life changes.
And that's, kind of going into what we had like put in the titles about like solar arcs and because most people probably just pay attention to their natals and like the transits going on there, but clearly solar arcs are very important, and obviously progressions as well.
Mm-hmm.
But then the other day, because you know me, projector, I'm always researching, or if we want to call it a download, it's like, oh, why did that come into my consciousness? Okay, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, babe, our composite chart is already just like Uranus is all over our shit, squaring Aquarius. Everything. But then our Saturn and our vertex are conjunct in Scorpio. So yeah, Uranus is, I guess at least Uranus is opposite that. It's not complete. It's not squaring it, but it's squaring our composite Venus. Whatever. It's squaring
all
everything.
of our Aquarius.
And so I was like, oh my gosh, I just discovered that you could do a progressed composite. And I was like, let's see where it's at. And all of our shit.
The composite chart is such a looked over chart. And I even forget to look at it when I'm doing like relationship readings.
It explains a lot.
But it does. If there's like something that you're not seeing in your composite or in your synastry, but you're feeling it, it's the progressed composite. Which I'm going to pull up our composite, and then I'm going to use astro.com to pull up.
It's all in Pisces. So Uranus is all in our composite, squaring, and then our progressed composite is literally all Pisces. So Saturn is here. And then the other crazy thing is that vertex, our progressed composite vertex, is 29 Capricorn. I'm like, oh, can't make that shit up. Pluto, exactly conjunct that. Beautiful.
Right.
Beautiful.
Gotta screen share this bad boy.
Yes, Glow Dart. Yeah, you should be happy to, be really. Also, too, it's like when people are single and they're not looking for it and they're just doing their life, that's when, right? Like shit comes in because you're just, that's how it always happens, though.
That's how it goes.
Look at that. This is the progressed composite. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe
I think, too, this is like a good example to show because it's kind of like pretty much whatever we talk about. I mean, we kind of have to use ours unless we're going to, in the future use somebody else's. But yeah, look at all that red.
Yeah, so the composite chart, right, it takes the midpoints of all your planets if you're not familiar. So Lauren has a 23-degree Taurus moon, and I have a 24-degree Aquarius moon. So the midpoint of those moons happens to be 9 degrees Aries. So it just takes the midpoint of every point, rising, sun, everything. Everything's just a middle point in the composite, which is a cool chart. But yeah, Uranus, I mean, so we like got together with Uranus squaring our sun, which I think is funny. Just because that's like when we started dating. But now Uranus is squaring our Venus.
Well, the crazy thing is that when we met and really started,
had the south node
the south node was on your Pluto.
It was, yeah.
Like literally bringing in a past life connection.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
and all that 8th house too.
Right.
And then all the Scorpio, South Node Scorpio, Saturn in Scorpio, Pluto in Scorpio. A lot of fixed energy, and it shows with us. We get so stubborn. Sometimes it's
we're just seeing our
funny.
moon square moon play out.
Yeah.
Signs of life, but once Uranus reaches Gemini, we all gonna party, am I right? See, I'm putting seriously signs of life. Yeah.
Look, there we are. I put it on really low quality, so it didn't take up much bandwidth. But yeah, there we are. And then this is the progressed composite. So astro.com has the best one, in my opinion. Oh, what did I do? There we go. What? Wait a second. Oh, this thing doesn't like to... Oh, whatever.
I guess I could just like reply to you guys as we're like in there. Yes, Esperanza. Oh, lots and lots of. I just told him the other day. I'm like, when is my chart, or when is any of my charts gonna just be like? When is my yod not going to be activated?
When?
I don't know, because then watch, the nodes are going to go into Pisces and Virgo, and so...
Oh, it came back on. Yeah. Nice. It was stuck on this iPad trim, which I'm controlling the live stream with.
Yeah, Saturn's here to definitely fucking serve. And Uranus.
Yeah. Saturn's serving us. This is the crazy part about our progressed composite. So astro.com's cool. It gives Lauren's progressed chart up top, and then it gives mine down below. I was already logged into hers, so my name is Lover in hers, as you can see. But then it has my composite chart, and then it takes the midpoints of the progress chart in the middle. Mm-hmm. And yeah, all of our progressions, of course, at this point from Aquarius, everything's in Pisces. It looks like Lauren's natal chart. It really does. Like Mars, Venus, the sun. But of course, the moon and Mercury are there too. And guess where Saturn is? On our Mars. On our Mars.
Oh, yeah, exactly. And it's exactly
In our
on my
seventh.
descendant in my natal chart.
Right in our set. Just finishing up in our 7th, too. So I guess that's one upside, that Saturn is coming in to the 8th, but we have so much there. So we're just like, we're getting ready to buckle up. Buckle up. So this one's super interesting. And a progressed moon in Pisces, they always suck. I have to tell every client when I do a reading for them.
Oh, that's right. We do. Oh my
And
gosh,
I'll
we
tell
just
you right
started
now-
that. We just started that.
I'll tell
It's
you
like
right
3
now.
degrees.
70% of people that come for an astrology reading have a progressed moon in Pisces. It's crazy. More or a progressed moon in the 12th house. I see it so much. I'm just like, wow, no wonder you came here.
Oh, yeah.
No wonder. I get it. Like my
Yeah.
whole life flipped upside down with my progressed moon in Pisces and in the 12th house. I got a double whammy of it. But
Oh, I think most people.
It's just
do.
a-
well. So and that's interesting because then my it's like we have mutable. Your progressed moon in your natal chart is about to go into Gemini. My progressed moon in my natal is Sag. Like there's literally all mutable shit. And what do they say about? Well, we're not gonna let that happen, but right.
well, it's
Didn't
very
you always-
common that if one partner has a progressed moon that moves into a mutable sign and the other one's in a fixed or a cardinal sign for an extended amount of time, that a lot of breakups happen at that time.
Like the mutable.
Because the mutable energy, it's mutating, it's changing.
Yeah.
Where the fixed, progressed moon can be very comfortable. That's usually a better 2.5 years in our life. Which I could say that, like, for the most part, my progressed moon in Taurus has been cool.
No, yeah.
I definitely got to experience some
It's on my midheaven right now.
lifestyles that I'd never experienced before, especially like Down with David and High Vibe. Like that was definitely a more bougie lifestyle, if
It
you
was
will,
very
than I've ever
second
experienced.
house.
Right.
Yes.
Which was cool. It was cool.
Yeah. No, I would say your fucking progressed moon in Taurus was.
It was a vibe. Usually that's great.
Yeah.
I'm very interested to see what a progressed moon in Gemini is going to be like this time around.
Yeah.
But I liked it because really your progressed moon went into Sag, 6 months ago?
Oh, and you told me I would feel that. And I'm like, still waiting.
Well, you have so much other stuff going on too.
Well,
and your
that's
progressed
kind of
chart's
how
crazy
this...
too because it's right up here. And I think like one of the craziest things about your progressed chart is your progressed vertex is 29 Aries, so Pluto's squaring it. Your progressed moon, when it came in, it of course just conjuncted your Uranus, so that's a crazy vibe. And then there was something else. Oh, it was your solar arc Pluto. Your solar arc Pluto was at 8 or 9 degrees of Sag. So like
That's where this all got. This is where this conversation that we're sharing with you guys to like be able to obviously, right, like do it in your charts or other people's charts or whatever, like even within your own, right? Like to your natal, to your solar, to your progressed. Because when I'm sure will at time to time look at my stuff and be like, oh, okay, well, this makes sense why your energy is like this. And it's like, right.
Yeah, you have a lot going on. But then it's so funny. I wonder sometimes, well, I guess I don't wonder why, but, when your partner goes through a lot, you kind of have to go through a lot too. And
of course.
But then I look at this and I'm like, no wonder. And I mean, thank God that we're still like cool, and we still love each other.
Well,
and luckily we can always laugh. We can always laugh off our differences.
To do with love. It's like that's always that it's unconditional. It's just that right. It's the energy is. We went from a love bubble to reality,
and added a new human into it.
Well, yeah, of course, which we already knew that who is very mutable as well.
Right.
Very mutable.
Right.
And that's
whose
the other
progressed
thing.
moon is getting squared by Pluto.
Right, and that's the other thing too. Like one time we'll have to do that because it's I think very helpful for others to look whether with a spouse or a partner and like if they have children or children together or whatever. And you can see that like, right, like the red string of fate, or the karmic thread or whatever, like literally weaved through the astrology, because like with you and I and him, it's nuts. It's like, right, we're coming back together 100% from a past life, and sure, we can decode it through the astrology and the energy going on, and unless we had a past life regression and that, like, we had a download of like what it was, but we definitely have fucking major karma and subconscious. A lot of it is subconscious things to clear of, like, right, like not repeating what happened in the past, because we also have in our composite Pluto conjunct our south node. Like,
right. I just pulled that up.
That is huge. That's karma.
You can see so much past life relationship energy in the composite chart,
right,
especially with where Pluto's at. So like Pluto in the 5th is a karma around children,
yes,
of course, love, romance,
but fun,
creativity, but self-expression. So it was kind of like, I would imagine one of us was very overpowering in a past life,
for sure.
And you know, a lot of intensity there. And then we have all that 8th house, so lots of added intensity. So I don't know, I feel like we are trying to go very, like, I feel like we're meant to go very
this is
Aquarian.
Our tool, you know,
we're meant to go very 11th house, very Aquarian, but also in like a Tauri, you know, Taurian way.
You're saying like Taurus,
but a Venusian way,
because the North Node is in our 11th house. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it is about the collective and people.
We also met with Uranus in the North Node on our North Node, which is kind of crazy.
So that's why I love talking about this stuff, I guess, in conjunction to us, because then it's easier for us to be able to explain. It took us off.
Yeah. Yeah, Jeffrey Wolf Green.
No, it took us off on the screen.
Oh, I took it off because it was covering the 5th house.
Oh, okay. I just didn't know if it was a glitch or whatever.
Right now. It is glitching. Like if I turn it off, it won't let me turn it back on here.
Oh, okay. We're still here, guys.
Switch
okay, here we
this, and then if I go to this, it'll come back
on. But that's why I just feel like it is powerful for you also, like, right? It's like another layer to decode, and that it really, especially if you're in a relationship, you already know the energy going on. So like if we didn't do this work, you know what I mean? We would be like, what the fuck is going on? And so it's like, of course, we're not going to bypass anything just with our astrology, because we're still in this reality, but it does help, right, to be able to understand, like, okay, right, we're not crazy, and I read that, or when I showed you that video of the girl that I found, and she was just like, I don't know, I might still have well, it wasn't a quote, it was like she was writing it, and it was like the phases of relationships that people go through, and it's like, as I call the love bubble, but then it's like getting into reality, right? And you're like, you have to, like, that is like actually kind of the start of the relationship. It's like, and how it's going to like move forward and all of that. So regardless of all of this 3D stuff, we just have a lot of past life, not only karma, but subconscious, like, we have so many like things that trigger, or like, you know, and it's like that buried, you know, because we have Chiron in the 12th in our composite. So clearly it's like accessing
the
that,
interesting thing is that Jeffrey Wolf Green usually says, and like he was teaching, like people with Pluto in the 5th in their composite chart, typically it's like somebody coming into the relationship and the other person having a child, and then almost feeling like a strong connection, like that child was theirs once before. Yeah. So it's like a child that like really is an important part of the karma, which I think is so interesting for us, is because that was really when everything, you know, just energetically changed for us, was when we moved here, because Sterling's a part of our life all the time.
Oh, right, of course.
Right. Yeah. So it really did, it subconsciously, whether and I think of course we've looked at this and we kind of know, but you don't really know until you feel it.
Until you're like actually in it. Yeah. And I mean,
It's just very
Like
interesting.
him and I have a even like a special
Oh yeah,
unset.
Sterling loves
Like
you.
I mean, we're like, for the God's sakes, it's like well, I'm not comparing him to Winston, but like Winnie, my dog that passed, my pug, like he had we were Chiron, Venus, Neptune, and that's like Sterling and I. Like Sterling's Neptune is on my Venus. That's is like a special connection, and then his Chiron's on my Mars. Like we have, and then his Pluto's on my vertex. So he's definitely here to transform, but also, trigger things in me that I'm like, because look, I'm fifth house Capricorn, right? Like, that's my fifth house. He's fifth house Leo. So he's like, fun, all this. And I'm like, no, there needs to be like fucking shit in place here and like, some rules, but like structure, right? Like, we don't want to repeat ever how our parents are. I mean, really, it's an ancestral thing. Yeah. It's not even just our parents. It's like, I know.
Especially for you with all your yods.
Oh, that is why I'm here, is to break ancestral chains and like within my own family dynamic. Yeah. And even though Scorpio rules my IC, my fourth house is Sagittarius. And hello, we've got a little Sag, and I got Uranus and Neptune in the fourth. Like, it's like, I mean, anybody that has just either Uranus or Neptune in the fourth, it's like, right? Like, it could be like, that is where a lot of your like channeling and downloading and all that. But you can also see, I am not somebody that can brush shit under the rug. I'm the one that wants to unearth it and let's talk about it. Yeah, and nobody wants to do that.
Virgo rising, South Node in the 6th, Mercury in the 6th. Yeah, no stone left unturned. That's a very active mind that pays attention. It pays very close attention to what's going on. So of course it's not going to let things go. Where you could say that the North Node in your 12th is like, it is okay.
I don't mind letting things go, but listen, I think I just like know. It's like when I showed you the thing that Phil Good put, and he was like, Phil Good, who is like very well known,
very good,
and he's amazing.
Phil's
like,
the man.
He how he expresses himself, and he is a Virgo, but he was like, if he directed it a lot more towards family, but it really could be anything. He's like, if your mother wasn't your mother and your brother wasn't your brother and your sister, like, would you be like hanging out with these people, or would you be like interacting with them? He's like, because for me, for so long, he's like, for 15 years, I, like put up with all of this like abuse, like, emotionally and mentally, to just get over it, Phil. And so everything he was saying, I was like, oh my God, this was so my like family life. And he's like, no, you're not going to fucking respect me for you're telling me to just let everything go so that it makes you comfortable. Like, fuck that. I'm not, you have to get radically honest with yourself if you want to ascend to your highest potential. And that is exactly how I feel. I can let things go, but I know that if you just let everything go and the rug, right, like it gets so high that you're like, okay, come on, I can't even pretend anymore. Yeah. And but I wasn't always like that. I did for a long time, and I'm like, okay, but now I know my purpose, and I'm not supposed to just sit here and fall back and be like, sure, you can just keep lying to me and, being deceiving and all this shit. Like, sure. Like, then if I don't respect myself, why would other people? Because it is a respect thing, because they know what they can and cannot get away with. If you keep feeding that beast, and listen, so many souls are here to break that, okay? Mm-hmm. And if it's not just that, then it's relationships, which I'm fucking definitely here to do too. It's like, right, wherever your planets are is really where the most focus is. And second house, my worth, that I don't have to rely on anybody else, that I know that I am safe. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
And thank God I have no planets in the 8th. But I feel that shit, but I have no planets there.
But that's the thing too, right? Is like that is the polarity point. So like trusting others, you don't have to do
I
it all
know.
by yourself all the time. But that's the growth through life, and just the natural progression. And like the older you get, the better you actually have probably gotten, like
Oh,
comparatively.
now I can just sit back and observe and just see it. Like again, I'm a projector. Like I, I it's not even just being sensitive. It's like I feel fucking
Yeah,
everything.
you got the
So
wide
it's
open aura.
a blessing and a
You can
curse.
feel someone's energy, way more than I can as a generator.
I know, and you're always like, oh, what, or when you say something, um, because we always watch those shows. Because this home,
Oh, I do feel
so
this house.
grateful for it. I am. I'm grateful for right to have food to whatever, but there's a lot of residual energy in this home that like I will feel like out of nowhere like I'm like I don't have anxiety and then it's like this wave of like panic and fear and then or I'll feel extreme sadness. Like just so I mean, that could happen in a new home too. You know what I mean? Like, who knows? I could be haunted. I have no idea. But
I mean, it might be.
that's probably why I'm so very much into like the paranormal and maybe, like letting it's okay, you can move on and like we're on very sacred land, like for God's
Yeah,
sake. So you have to have respect for
Nisanon
that.
natives.
Yeah, you like I feel like we should
There's
leave
like a
them
big healing
offerings.
rock, like literally like half a mile, where they used to bring anybody who got sick in the tribe, they would take them to this rock, and it's got this memorial on it,
Yeah,
and that was like the healing, like shamanic rock
very.
that the natives used. If someone was sick, if someone had like trauma, They would go
Yeah.
there, and as a tribe, they would do the healing work. Pretty crazy.
And like I'm into that stuff. Like my rising is like on Regulus, like right? That is ancestral like stuff too. Like I do like to know about cuz this is such like it's not only a Hallmark town, but it's like a paranormal Hallmark town. You know what I mean? Like it's
Oh, there's
very
so much spirit activity here.
very.
100%.
So I'm
The
not even
amount of
saying that's the
haunted buildings
house.
are,
It's the
insane.
land.
A lot of it is the land.
Yeah.
From the natives that, got kicked out for the gold rush,
Mm-hmm.
to the Chinese that were slaves during the gold
Right.
rush, to just the Wild West, the claim jumping, the stealing. There's pew, pew, pew.
Do you
Challenge you
guys
to a duel.
No, I know. Okay, wait, let's ask if anyone has any question. We'll take a little question about I don't know, anything. Your
Yeah,
something
we're just
going
hanging
on. We're
out.
just like hanging out because I mean, sure, we're going to talk about the full moon, but you I'm I feel like last time you did a live and talked or did sun signs and then we did a show.
I
So
think
it's
we did
kind
our
of
show
like
first.
we need to spread it out because then you're talking about the same thing.
Well, I think, I don't know. Mainly, I wanted to do this show with you tonight just because I was excited to use this microphone.
No, I know.
I just
I
wanted to
know.
use it. And I was waiting for a XLR cable to use it, and it came. So I
Yeah,
was
and
like,
we
we
were
should do a
gonna.
show. Yeah. So, yeah.
Well, I know. And then we were like, oh, when we get my website finished and tell people about it. But that's another thing, right? Like, I cannot. You have to be in that energy to like really like put stuff out there. And I am. I have so many ideas and it's almost done. It's like the dumbest things that I'm like so fucking procrastinating on, like writing my about me and all this, because that's just so weird to me to like.
It doesn't have to be anything crazy.
No,
Just
but I
like
really want to express myself of like all of it,
yeah.
but it's because it's a reflection of me. But it will, when it is like completely up and running, then we'll let you guys know. And it's just, I don't know, Saturn square in my fucking heaven. So I'm like, maybe, I mean, I'm not going to wait until Jupiter gets to my moon in midheaven because that'll be like April, May. But I really can't wait for that. I really can't. I need some Jupiter energy.
Yeah.
I need some
Yeah, you deserve it. You've
Jupiter
had a lot of
energy.
Saturn And you're getting a lot of Saturn, so some Jupiter would be nice.
And that's
Balance
the
it
thing
out.
that like I was telling Bryan or expressing to him is that I'm like, I don't really have a lot of Saturn energy in my chart. Like, listen, I can conform to Saturn and right, like hard work, and I get the delays, but like he rewards. I 100%, but it is heavy. It's a heavy feeling that I'm not used to. And you got to think, I'm coming off all this Neptune energy. The numbing is gone. The numbing is gone. And it's like Saturn is here, and it's like, what a shift. Like that's what I'm trying to really navigate and ground with, because it's like a melancholy feeling. You're just kind of like whatever euphoric hit, even like when I'm like, God, there's nothing to watch, there's no movies, like stupid stuff like that. I'm like, Saturn's just here to like repress me, like, and then, I'm like, bring it back.
Bring it back.
It's in your 7th house, right? It is business partnerships. It's relationships.
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
and it does make things clear, like when it comes to relationships.
No, 100%.
So,
and it can put in the hard work too. But like anybody that has gone through Neptune square Neptune or is Godspeed, because I cannot wait for that transit to be almost over. It has been, I have had no clarity for like 3 years.
Yeah, and every time you think you get it,
I feel like I'm underwater.
You're just like let down. And
I don't even let myself get excited though. That's like the terrible thing.
Yeah, because I mean, you have it real bad. Even your Mars, right? So like your defining action-oriented planet, your ego, if you will, that's got Neptune on it. And I know that you're naturally Mars square Neptune, but that just intensifies it.
I know.
And I think like that's one of the more paralyzing transits in astrology, in my opinion. Like anytime Neptune aspects or conjuncts your Mars, it's like you said, drowning. It's what it feels like. It feels like this warrior in a bunch of chainmail and armor and a sword just got dropped off in the ocean, and okay, make it to land. Godspeed.
And I truly,
it's a struggle.
It's like I truly do believe there are no wrong turns. There's no like this. I loved this quote that I read the other day, because I always tell Bryan, I'm like, I just feel like, right, we're being judged by the divine. And it says, if you obsess over whether you are making the right decision, you are basically assuming that the universe will reward you for one thing and punish you for another. The universe has no fixed agenda. Once you make any decision, it works around that decision. There's no right or wrong, only a series of possibilities that shift with each thought, feeling, and action that you experience.
100%.
And I think that with the Neptune square Neptune, it's like, when Jupiter was in Aries, it's like, yeah, I could take action and all that, but there's no wrong turns. There is a reason for everything, and that it'll redirect you or whatever. But it is so like debilitating. Like it's really, you do not have clarity. Like, and then everybody says after it passes, you will. Now, whether that's true or not, stay tuned. But, and it's such a long transit that I feel like I should make a video on Neptune square Neptune, because it's anybody that's born, like usually go through it. Well, you probably start into it like maybe around like 40.
That's a really good full moon in your 10th house epiphany. Make a video about it. Love that.
I know.
Well, I got all the equipment.
I know.
If you want to make a video,
I know.
We have
I want to do so many things. I'm just like, right? It's like, but it also Neptune, it's like my energy. I'm like, this is so weird to me, because I always have so much energy, and it's like uncomfortable. That's what it is. I feel so uncomfortable where I'm like, I want to do this and I want to do that, and you just, right, that's probably, like you said, the Neptune on my Mars. But It's many things, but now
It's
I
it is
ask
it's
people just
really is
ask
many things.
questions, and
Yeah,
then I
Kif has
totally,
one.
yeah, no, I know. So I was gonna say that. Will you
Yeah, how to use your
answer
progress
that?
chart to help you or with relationships. So yeah, I mean, start with you first. I think that the progress moon is so important,
Hmm.
and
Yes.
you know, you really want to know what sign and house that's in. It's a 2.5 year transit. The house could be a little bit more or less depending on the house system you're using, but roughly 2.5 years. And that energy is important. It really is this like background layer to what's going on in your life. It might not be as much of the personal things as maybe a transit for a little while or something, but like when my progressed moon was in my 12th in Pisces, the first part of that, and this was before I was, really following my astrology, I was doing a bunch of drugs.
Hmm.
I was just kind of wild. I was partying. I didn't have any faith. I didn't really have any belief per se. I kind of did at that point, but I was pretty YOLO
Hmm.
for the most part. But then by the end of it, like the last like year of it, I quit drinking, quit smoking weed, quit doing drugs. I even quit meat for a while, coffee. I mean, I pretty much quit everything. And like it was kind of crazy. I just like this like thing switched, and then spiritually I became so invested spiritually in like connecting and
Well, babe, you got
meditating
Neptune in
and
the 12th too. Like
right. Right.
100. That is a fucking crazy
Yeah, it
awakening
actually was
activation.
really right around that time that my progressed moon conjuncted Neptune transiting my 12th house that like
Yeah.
it was just like an epiphany, like a spiritual aha.
Yeah.
And yeah, I started, really making it, and it kind of did. It dissolved a big part of my ego
Hmm.
from before that.
Right.
So I mean, it's again like when you know that these are coming, you can help yourself instead of like if I would have known that was coming, which I don't think I was meant to, but if I did, like next time my progressed moon goes through my 12th house and in Pisces, I'm for sure not going to go do a bunch of drugs
Right. Right.
and like, lose myself and like try to do a bunch of self undoing. I'm going to do more. I'll probably, be like, I'm going to consciously meditate more.
Yeah.
I'm going to, try and use this in a very spiritual way
Right.
and, try to relax and not like do too much at the same time, but do enough, of course, to get by, but take it a little easier.
Hmm.
Comes into your first house, that's go time. Like Neptune in the 12th, if you're trying too hard for something or trying to get something,
Yeah.
accomplished, you can get things accomplished. I don't want to say you can't because you can, but you'll feel like you're spinning out in the mud.
Yeah.
And then the progress moon comes into your first house or into Aries, all of a sudden the rubber hits the road and you're burning out. Like that was when I started Fixed Air Moon. I started this channel with a progress moon in Aries in my first. So it was like, yeah, I just started doing it and it got built up to what it is now. And,
Right.
crazy, just things really
Well, and
started
you
to
met
happen.
like spirit soulmates, spiritual
Absolutely.
teachers, like,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Like, that's another vibration of that,
Yeah.
too, like in an
100%.
exalted way. But yeah, you go through, I'm sure, every of the stages of Neptune. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
So the progressed moon, I think, is so important. But then also like retrogrades. Like if you have your Mercury and it's direct in your natal chart and it goes retrograde in your progressions, that's important. That's something you want to keep an eye out on. If you have a natal retrograde Mercury and it goes direct, and that usually happens between the time you're born
Hmm.
and 18 years old, typically, sometimes 20 years old,
Yeah.
but in between that, so we all go through a progressed, well, Lord willing, we make it to 21 or whatever, but yeah, we all kind of experience the Mercury retrograde in progression or direct in progression, Venus
Yeah.
retrograde in progression or Venus direct in progression. I mean, these are things that can,
Or when your Venus switches to
or
like
yeah, or
a
planets in your
new,
progressions changing sign or house because they move a lot
yeah.
slower. So like those are
And that's a
very,
relationship shift, too.
very key moments to pay
Yeah.
attention to. Saturn, Jupiter, Neptune, Uranus, and Pluto, if those go direct or station retrograde in your progressions,
Hmm.
that's a lot of like deep, like especially Neptune, Uranus, and Pluto. That's like very deep psychological changes that take place within you.
My progressed Scorpio moon was the that.
So those are very important. I mean, and
was
it's good to acknowledge them and just be open to
Yeah.
the change, because these are times when you change. We all go through changes in life.
But big, like
So
really
the
like an
progress chart,
activation.
if you want to use it to help you, it's like to know these big years and to know, that's when big change is really going to happen. You don't have to force big change just because you might want big change. That's the other thing. Sometimes you want to be patient for the big change. And sometimes it just happens in divine time and in divine order. But I do think the progress chart's very helpful to just see this underlying layer of your soul that's progressing through life.
Oh, I like what Signs of Life put. What, his name's Chris?
Yeah.
I was like, instead of Chris. He said, my personal experience of Neptune square my progressed Neptune was darkness before the dawn, very Saturn return vibes.
Yeah, Neptune's a sinister one, because it'll either make you feel so good and numb, and then that gets taken away.
Well, I can tell you that.
Or it's the most confusing thing right off the bat. And it's like you kind of know subconsciously or spiritually or whatever that
I think
just ain't it.
It's more like, am I doing, like, I'm just got to trust that what I'm experiencing and going through, well, of course that we're meant to, but that, like, it is the right path. And if not, then I guess after it's passed, you will have clarity. That's more so what it's just, I think that we've talked about this before, anything with Neptune, but listen, when you just said the dissolve thing, it's like when Neptune was on my Venus, I mean, oh my God.
Bliss, ecstasy. I mean, that could be ecstasy.
I just felt I did, but about, like, I remember going back to that time, it's like I would be like dancing around my house, fucking just doing my hair and makeup, like I felt like I was just, I don't even know how to describe it. Yes, nirvana,
feeling yourself,
ecstasy. Like I was just like in this, it was highly creative, but it was like, and I mean, of course, like, right? Like people coming out of nowhere and you're like, oh God, what's this? What's this? And like, but you feel it did dissolve. I will say, yes, a lot of my ego, and it actually made me, whereas before I probably would have been like, wow, like, people come to me and like tell me things, but like even in like relationships or friendships, I definitely had a lot more compassion than I know I would have. Like half of the things that were like, it was because it was also like Pandora's box for me, where people were like telling me things and I was like, yeah, tell me more. And then I'm like, oh God, I know too much. I don't want to know this. And where I would have been like, okay, fucking, I can't even like deal with you. But I was like, no, like I could see it from a higher perspective.
Yeah.
100%. And so that was a part of the dissolving.
Yeah, I mean, Neptune has that like enlightening effect too. So it's definitely an interesting one because it's not going to be the same for everybody. It's so
100%
unique to our own beliefs and our own everything that we conjure up in our own imagination and all these different things. It's so different.
Well, that's like what I was telling you, that I got on to this, who knows? I mean, listen, guys, all day it's like, oh, what's it like? I feel like there's nothing more that I even need to like understand or know. And then it's like, right? It's like, sure, download, whatever. And it's like, oh, and then I'll Google it, right? Like, thank God for Google. And then I'll be like, do I resonate with this? Like discerning clearly. And there was this like article of people that were like, who feels, so like if you're the planet person and that person's the house person, like who feels it more? And I was like,
age-old question.
I've never really thought about that, but because I would assume that it would be both people.
Why not
right?
both?
Like, but then you had said a long time ago, you're like, yeah, you're just taking up free rent in my 12th house. And I'm like,
just living rent free in my 12th.
Right. So I was like, had to then like go back through like, right, the pipeline of like, okay, well, did I have planets? Did people have planets in my 12th? And did I have it in their 12th? I was really focused more on the 12th and 8th house because, like, right, the water houses. And it seemed from, this Google thing that I guess the consensus, it was kind of almost equal, but they said that the house person, but then I had to take it from my perspective of when I was the planet person in like somebody's house. And so it's almost like, but that's the 12th house, right? It could be like something where nobody even tells you, like they could have a crush on you or something and they don't even ever like say it, or like even with 8th house, like, listen, oh, I've only really ever had one 8th house connection. And I was like, oh God, that makes sense. And that is a plutonic connection. And when my Pluto was on this person's moon, that was on my yod, and it was in his 8th house. When you have an 8th house connection with somebody.
Yeah, the magnet's strong.
And
one
it's
way
like,
or the other.
You're like, oh my God, I need to run, but I can't. Like my feet are cemented. But this is going to fucking hurt. That is 8th house. This is going to hurt. But like you can't. Like it's, and then 12th houses, I feel like more. Either you're like, there's some subconscious, like, which
it's a little
it
bit
makes
more,
sense for
it's a
both
little bit
of
more
us.
neurotic in the 12th house.
Because because
like,
you're trying
there's
to
a lot
trust.
The 12th house is much more, because the 8th house is trying to trust, and it deals with like intense emotions of like either really in or get away from me, or sexual emotions and things like that. And the 12th house is like, I'm pretty sure they did this. Like,
yes.
I think,
like you have this.
I don't trust them. There's a lot of mental stories that happen in the 12th.
And subconscious stuff, I feel like. Because I trust you fully. Like, I feel like Bryan's probably the only partner I've been with that I'm like, yeah, like, I trust you. But, yeah, no, I'll see shit sometimes and I'll be like, oh, what's up with that? Or, when I'm like, why am I even, like, right? And I'm the planet person and you're the house person. So if anything, the planet person might be the one that's like, I know that it's safe, but but it's like subconscious junk. Yeah. That definitely needs to be on my part, like work through, like, why would I even be tripping about this if like I trust him, right? Like that doesn't make any sense.
It happens.
No, I know.
Feel things.
No, I know. And then my draconic chart is all Scorpio, so I'm like, yeah. But I can at least be honest about that. Like, I'm not. Yeah, because he's got so much Aquarius and then his shit going into Gemini. I'm like, oh, I'm not into like multiple people or anything.
Yeah, me neither.
No, I know, but I'm just saying. You never know with that progressed moon going into Gemini. God, who knows?
No. I mean, I guess I can see the appeal in polyamorous relationships and stuff, but for me, one is plenty. I do not, be a lot of work because I like to do some of my own shit too. I'm like, like I like to do things like, okay, I'm gonna go upstairs or whatever, like.
Oh yeah, and I'm like, great.
I don't want to give all of my time to another person, like all of it. Not even just one person. So the thought of having multiple women that I have to like.
I know.
Oh my,
right.
Oh my God, it sounds like a nightmare to me. But yeah, props to the people that are into that and can make it work, because part of me can see that like there probably is like a master level of relating with people, because there's so much trust and vulnerability that goes into that kind of a relationship. So I can see that side of it too, but no, thank you. Not for me. I want to do my own thing.
Yeah, I mean, like, have freedom within your relationship. And that's the other thing is I'm just kind of like, if you need to like, I don't know, spice it up, why can't you just like then do that with your partner? Because really it's either, yeah, I mean, I don't, because I don't want to like offend anybody that's in that, but it's like either it's like, right, like you're like bored, or or you just want to, who knows, they're probably in a Uranus opposite Uranus. And that's one thing I can, when I go into that, I'm
Soon.
Yeah, great.
Soon.
Wonderful. Like, it just keeps coming. I'm telling you guys, after your second nodal return, your life is just never the same. So Godspeed.
Yeah.
Which, and a lot of fated moments happen during that time. So I guess that's probably a good thing before that Neptune and that Uranus hits.
It's the liberation transit.
Because honestly, I would love to like, maybe that's what I should do. I should just take this microphone around and like all the little old couples we see, and it'll be like, how have you guys made it through? I'm sure you know jack shit about astrology, but God, how did you make it through at this time in your life and this and that? Like, so many people have done it, and that's the other part where like anxiety and astrology go together, because you're just like, oh my God, this is going to happen. And it's like, guilty. I've said this many of times, where you just have to like, I guess, really take it and like use it in the magic and the manifestation for the highest, and just trust that, right, it's just taking you to whatever experience you're meant to experience, mm-hmm. or be radically honest with yourself and, you're either your partner or yourself. But both. I don't know. Yeah. I haven't experienced that yet. So God, I have no idea what that would even be like. I don't even know where's my Uranus. Oh, it's in
I've only seen people go through it and study it on paper, but yeah, I haven't lived through that one either. So
yeah, I know. And they do, like, a lot of them, if they've been in a long-term relationship, something usually like
Uranus opposition?
Yeah, I'm talking like a long-term relationship, though. Like somebody that's like maybe been married for 20 years. They could be fine.
It's not like always going to cause something like that. It just depends on the relationship. Like if people
or they might want to travel, or
if
freedom.
People feel like in the relationship they're being held back from living a life that's theirs, unique and authentic to them in some way, like they're just being limited.
Yeah.
By a relationship, then people will get a divorce. But
they could have been limiting themselves though the whole time as well, and that's the transit that comes to be like, you need to reevaluate.
Either way, at that point, that's why it's the liberating transit. Yeah, we all call it the midlife crisis transit in astrology, but it's
that's Neptune square Neptune.
It's the liberator. It's the liberator. So it's just like whatever you're feeling tied down or held back from, Uranus wants you to break out, and you might shock people when you do it.
Maybe get a new look.
People get new looks, new Harleys.
Should we shave our heads together?
New boyfriends, girlfriends. My sister's in a Uranus opposition, and I don't even know what I should say, but I'm gonna say anyway. She's dating a 27-year-old. I just found out, and I was like, oh shit.
Oh wow, get it, girl.
Yeah. So yeah, she got a divorce, and she's dating someone younger than me, and almost her first son's age. That is a Uranus opposition. But hey, good for her, because she is very pretty and attractive, and she wants to have fun right now. Mm-hmm. And like, there you go. There's your Uranus. You want to have fun? Go have fun. Go live your life. Stop being held back.
Oh, Esperance is loving her Uranus opposite Uranus. Good.
That's the thing, too, is if you already live a pretty darn liberated life, if you're pretty much living that way already, and like, that's just going to be you're just going to keep revolutionizing yourself. You're going to keep, innovating in certain areas of your life, and you're just going to try and make it more free and more you, and it's not always, the end of the world. So
I feel like I've always been
it's never really the end of the world. It usually just makes you, enough is enough.
I want to be more, I don't want to say Saturn, because I got you for that. So whatever the energy of being more grounded would be, because I don't know, Saturn really grounding. He's such a paradox. For the God's sakes, he's the devil. Yet he wants to delay ya and And he really wants you to work, because we were talking about that, about Saturn and Uranus. It's like, right? He like exiled his father.
Cast away Uranus to the outside of the universe,
Yeah.
castrated him.
Yeah, but Saturn's eating his kids.
What a fucked up son. That's bullshit. And then Jupiter brought him back.
Yeah. Yeah, you need that.
But Uranus, if you think about it too, it's the god of the sky, the god of the heavens. So it can feel like sinister moments in some ways with Uranus, but really it's always just to accelerate you higher in life and to help you ascend. Uranus is a very much an ascension planet.
Oh, it is. It's the heavens. Chris said Uranus opposite Uranus was a career change for me. It was a revelation of my position and ultimately a more liberated life, just like Bryan said. Oh, I'm down for that. Like any type of like, I hope that that's what it is. Or, I mean, it is in my 4th, so I don't know. Maybe we'll just find like a really... Oh, is that a palindrome going on over here? 331131?
Yeah, it is.
That I just want to be in a home that I feel grounded, but I just don't know. Like, right, Uranus in my 4th. Maybe I'm never going to feel... Maybe I need to radically accept that I'm never going to like... That the energy in any home...
Yeah, there's just always going to be something to throw you for a loop. But that's life too. Like, and it's just
I know.
For you, it's a big like lesson. Like, yeah, there's just always going to be something. Like here, like we never know when we're going to get a call from our landlord. Like, I got to come do this to the house or this.
Oh,
and it's like, you know.
I know. God, maybe I really don't ever want to go on.
And for me, I'm like, cool, dude.
Maybe I just gotta buy something.
Do what you gotta do.
I just want...
Lauren's like, oh, George is coming. Always.
Simple life.
I mean, whatever.
I just want like a little bungalow, just garden, and, you know. It's like I desire that, but then, yeah, who knows? Maybe that's what my Uranus opposite Uranus will be. Like, I'll just be like, I don't know. I'll plant a garden.
Yeah, life's a garden. Dig it.
I'm going to go to the restroom and get those. I want to show those glasses that I got from, I can't remember her name. They're really wild though. She's got a gift.
Compassion, yeah. And they're you guys, well, some of you have definitely seen me wear them before, but
no, mine are cooler.
They're called Alchemize.
Yeah.
Lauren got a pair at Rebel Market.
So yeah. Talk about whatever you're going to talk about, and I'll be right back.
Bye-bye. Hello. It's just me and you. The world. So, I hope everybody's doing good. I don't know, dude. I got this pug. I don't have a million things. It's kind of... Okay, so... My friend Everett, he's a Scorpio. And Lauren, they were talking about how, you know, they have so much to say and they want to talk. And I was like, you guys should do a podcast. I'll produce it. You know, and they're like, what about you? You don't want to like do a podcast? Like, you don't have a bunch of stuff to say? And I'm like, believe it or not, I don't have much to say. I really don't. I'm a very introverted, quiet person. And just because I have a thought, I don't feel like I need to voice it to the world. Where some people love to, you know, right? They're communicators. They want to put the thought out there. I just ain't built like that. Like, I don't have just something to say for everything. So yeah, no, I probably shouldn't do like a podcast. Horoscopes. You know, I did that for a long time every day. That's different. That's just like every day there is something different. I can channel it, talk about it, feel it. I can do that. But just like about life, I'm not even like into enough things. I would run out of things to talk about. And that's my Mercury retrograde. Like I was born with my Mercury stopped the day it stationed was the day I was born. So like my mind is so singular and narrowly focused on what's important to me. If it's important to me, I can talk about it, I can think about it, I can stay engaged. If I don't find it important in my life, I cannot stay engaged. I do not care. And the last thing I want to do is try and talk about it and bullshit my way through it. So yeah, a little something about me, which I think was very apparent when I was doing shows with David. Just kind of sit there and be like, yeah, dude, it's a good opinion. Because he's a great communicator, you know? He can talk about anything. I don't think I'm a bad communicator. Again, I'm not going to try and like make something important if it ain't important to me. Oh, you're doing good. Good, Glow Dart. You're so chilled. You could be horizontal. Lauren was always like, "Do you have a pulse? Do you have a pulse, Bryan? Are you alive? Do you feel anything?" I'm like, "Well, yeah, I feel stuff, but I have pretty thick skin too. So like, where some people get like really triggered and feel immediately when something happens, I'm more, I guess, intellectual there with my emotions. And this is again an Aquarius moon thing, right? Fixed air moon. I'm going to process and understand the emotion before I just, some volcano with my emotion. I want to like understand it before I'm just trying to express it, because for me, it is difficult, if you would, to just express emotion. I don't, understand it right away. I want to understand it before I say it. So yeah. I definitely have a pulse. What I'm really good at, especially with it being in the 11th house and in Aquarius, is I'm good at, when I do astrology and like have clients, I'm very good at being fully in and connected and empathetic in the moment with people and like helping people. I'm very good at that. But like for me, I'm not triggered. I'm not a very like just emotional person walking around. Like I am an emotional person, but I'm very Capricorn Aquarius. Like I'm not just gonna show you what I'm feeling, like that just ain't me. Like that isn't important. I'll deal with that on my own time. But I will talk about my emotions if I need to too. So it's not like I just bottle it all up. I'll tell people how I feel once I understand how I feel. If I don't understand it, how am I going to express it? Right? That's how I feel, at least. Progress moon, 3rd house. Yeah, a little chatterbox in the chat. What sign? Here she comes. Oh, you're like a whole new person.
Look at my candle that I made today.
Like a whole new Pisces.
Snagged the link.
Oh yeah, Lauren makes some really cool candles. If you're into candles,
doing that.
That's her arts.
Yeah. It's all, they're manifestation candles, but check these bad boys out.
Let's see if this one's a little closer. It's the phone.
Where are they? And then, look.
Oh, yeah.
They're like all
styling
curled.
And profiling.
Oh, yeah. Here, I should look here.
Oh, yeah. Work it.
Normal. Blossom.
Alchemize. You can find her on Instagram.
Oh,
her name's Compassia.
Now I got my...
She's super cool. She makes a bunch of custom glasses like that.
Yeah,
They're vibes.
She's dope.
Big
yeah,
vibes.
They're like, it's like freshwater pearl or something like that. Yeah, and then I had to put on like, I don't know, you probably don't know the movie, babe. It's called Reality Bites. It was a very 90s movie. It's like,
I don't know about that.
Yeah, they were in Seattle.
I don't know about that one.
Okay. Enough fun with the outfit change. You
What?
can wear 'em.
That was quick.
No, I know. I just wanted to. I like to do show and tell. They're kind of dirty, like they're.
Oh, dirt.
Yeah, look at platforms are coming back, guys. Saturn and Pisces, everything's a platform now. Oh yeah, there you go, babe. Those are cool. Yeah, those actually.
Fuck yeah, they do. Everything
Flip
looks
'em
good
up.
on me.
Oh,
See, I'm like a
wow.
whole new person when I put these on.
Oh, you
What?
do? Oh wow.
You don't think these
you
look
feel
good?
like a super.
Oh yeah, super hipster.
Oh yeah, hipster Bryan.
Saw it.
You know I love. Oh wow.
Saw it.
You're in your festival wear.
Yeah, festy.
Oh,
Haven't
why
been to one of
did
those in a long time.
why did Miss Kiv put Cancer? LOL. Were you talking about cancers?
Emotion. Yeah, I was talking about emotions and
Oh,
talking
yeah.
and how I'm not like a really big talker. And I mentioned how you and Everett want to do a podcast because you guys are both like, God,
Scorpio.
I could talk all day, and I'm like,
Oh shit! I could. Yeah.
I'm like, I ain't got enough to say.
Oh my god! I could go any which way. I just don't want to talk about politics or
John Lennon.
really the job. I don't want to talk about any of that because I can't even believe.
I don't know, but I have
the
seen
jab's still going
so
on.
many masks on people. It's been like 2 years probably since I've seen, especially in this area, so many people wearing a mask. Which I haven't checked the news. I don't really follow that shit. I'm assuming that they're telling people to be afraid again. I don't know if that's true or not. It's a total assumption. Or maybe it was because it was the holidays and people were visiting from other places, family up here, and maybe these other places still wear masks. I don't know, but I haven't seen this many masks in a few years now, and I don't know what's out there these days. Apparently, something's trying to kill us again.
Saturn and Pluto.
Yeah.
Yeah, Miss Kiff asked how the market went, and it's like they're always fun, you know. It's just you got to be in the right, vintage stuff is like a certain, demographic, and but I love like bringing all this kind of stuff. Like I'm into Mod Podging and cutting. It's like a vision. I want to make vision board candles. Yeah, like, but they're, then I like put.
You have to cover your face and put it up to the camera, and then it'll zoom on it. Oh yeah, you're doing it. You're doing it.
I'm doing it.
Yeah.
It looks like Magdalene. So I try to like make like priestess stuff, like obviously with that. I got all like the tarot card, like I priestess. I just like want to do like vision board candles, and then
Oh yeah, custom bracelets. Custom Ankh bracelets, yeah. Because the facial recognition, it won't focus on the. Because it's. I
just want to make everything,
autofocus.
Sacred and beautiful, and be in my high priestess, goddess AF energy.
Goddess AF.
Goddess AF,
Right.
Gotta be representing that goddess energy.
100.
Yeah, and that violet flame, the violet light of the flame. And
All
I
facts.
do have on purple
No
contacts right now, but definitely we're not going to be able to like.
Oh, if you get a full facial on that, it'll.
But
you could just put your face right in front of that lens.
Oh,
right
I'm not trying to like, be all up in the hijacking.
I'm gonna get in there.
Oh. Oh, do you think that they could see my contacts?
Grill up in there. The grill up in there, they'll see it. Oh, all the way. Eye in the lens. Like you're looking through a telescope. Big telescope.
No. God, I'm so South Node Aquarius. I'm like, I don't even know how to do North Node Leo.
So, you would think South Node Aquarius, you'd be like into this shit. Technology and oh jeez.
Oh, don't. No, I'm comfortable. Don't move me. It's out of alignment for now.
It's out of alignment, out of balance.
Yeah.
What are we gonna do?
What do you guys want to ask? We just want to like, okay, do you want to touch on do I have anything in this full moon? It's 10th house. I mean, my midheaven's 29 Taurus, so your part of fortune is 0 Gemini.
It's trining my Venus. Other than that, it's just kind of in my 3rd house. Oh, it is quincunx my Uranus. 5 cap. But I don't know, I guess it's expression. I mean, I was talking about expression and stuff today, and I mean, at least I'm being honest. Like, I'm not like, I don't have I'm not going to say things unless I'm joking. I like to maybe joke and I'll express myself, but I don't have an opinion on everything.
Right.
There's so many things I just don't care enough about.
Yeah, hey.
And that's just honest. Like, I don't care. I don't even want to try and bullshit my way through some thing if I don't, but okay.
Babe, I feel ya. I mean, it's a full moon. You know what I mean?
Yeah, which I mean is usually the release. It's a very like, the peak out moment from a lunation that started in Scorpio. So, we're in that time where the transits are hitting, where we're getting our full moons in another sign that it didn't even start in. So I think there's a lot of investigative stuff when I think of it that way, because it's a new moon in Scorpio, and now it's a full moon in the sign of truth and information and communication and facts in our mind. So I think we are having to figure out in our lives what we're really penetrating into and what are the facts about that point in our life or what's going on in our life. And there's also limitations. I think we put a lot of limitations on ourselves. It's Sag season now. Mm-hmm. And it's a full moon in Sag and Gemini, and Sag doesn't want to limit itself. It's so expansive. It wants to keep taking in information and expanding on its beliefs. But we can also be very dogmatic and very this is the way. So I think Gemini brings into perspective of like, okay, there's a bunch of different ways. We have to accept that there's many different ways. We need to, I think, investigate and find more truth into our own beliefs, while accepting that not everybody's going to feel the same way, and that's okay. And people have different opinions and beliefs, and we will never, ever, it's impossible to all have a same belief or journey of life. So we have to be also, I think, more accepting of everybody else's unique journey and path, and roll with it and like accept that.
Oh, 100%.
So I think these full moons in Gemini are just big moments where we could really feel like something is so not right, not the way. Mm-hmm. Like I mentioned mask. I see more mask walking around. I definitely don't think that's the way. I'm going to be honest. Like, I can't believe people want to live behind a mask. But you know what? Am I going to walk up to them and tell them that I think they're stupid? No. I am not going to ruin anybody's day or cause a problem, because that is just my opinion. Well,
right. I mean, people gotta do what they gotta do. That's right, or makes themselves feel comfortable.
100%. And you know what? If that makes them feel good, it is none of my fucking business.
It's like, it's clearly like some type of like sense of security or what. Transmuting the fear into faith, the pain into power, the grief into gratitude, and the karma into dharma. I wanted to, thank you, Amy. I am going to put up all of like my candles and jewelry and all that on my site very soon. And on Etsy as well. So they'll all be like, they're still being created, but thank you so much. And then we'll, do a live of when I actually like my website is live. It's just not.
It's not live. Don't
it's
go
not,
there.
It's not live
You
yet,
can't
but
buy
I'm
anything.
right
Everything's
there.
$0, so you'll go there and you'll think
Yeah.
you're getting everything for free.
But
and
then I
you're
have
not.
like stuff on like Etsy and stuff like that too. And then Chris said, he said, I have a question for Lauren. I have several planets in my progress chart in Virgo. Best way to handle such a crazy busload of Virgo energy. Yeah. How do you navigate that Virgo energy? Well, you're always telling me to not be so 6th house in Virgo,
Well,
but
for
I mean,
you, that would, that's part of your evolution, right?
but
It's also
Virgo
a huge
energy
part
is
of
like
who
more
you are.
observing instead of like it is hard, right?
It's judging.
With Virgo,
It is. Virgo judges. Virgo's so critical.
but it's
it
more.
doesn't let
but they
things
are
slide.
themselves
Like you don't
too.
brush things under the road with Virgo's 6th house. Like you are so mentally engaged with what you're doing, with what other people are doing, with what things are, where things are. It reminds me of a wedding. And like a bride right before she's about to walk down the aisle, like she's going to make sure every single thing is right. This is her big day. This is Virgo. Everything's got to be perfect.
So I guess it would be, so to answer Chris's question, actually, I feel like it would be really positive in the work that he does, right? Because it is details and it is like really like, yeah, paying attention to that in terms of, right? Like he does music and stuff like that. So that I feel like is very positive to put that Virgo energy, because yeah, a lot of
it's
Virgo,
it's something that makes you a good producer.
Yeah.
Right? Because you're paying attention and you're critical of every little noise, every little sound, like where some people might miss it. Mm-hmm. But I don't think, you do if you have the Virgo energy. Like those little things don't go unchecked. Like you're going to check all the boxes and make sure it's right. And that's where being critical is a good thing. Like there's certain things in life you do want to pay attention. You do want to get it right. You do want to make sure everything's where it needs to be. But then there's sometimes too where we get so hard on ourselves because maybe we can't get it perfect, or maybe it just for whatever reason won't
Virgo's
get
also
there.
the healer too. Like it is also like a very like alchemizing energy. But I mean, I guess I would say, right, it depends on the area of life. Like in relationships with a lot of progressed Virgo, because that's kind of like an underlying energy too that is like that will manifest that you gotta let things go. And
I like what Nikki said. You got to balance the mind with its opposite sign of intuition in Pisces, and that's exactly right.
The mind and the heart.
Because you have such a developed like right or left brain. Yeah. So it's just so linear and to the point that balancing it with Pisces and being more intuitive. Thinking, differently, dreaming, maybe something isn't possible, but you know what? Maybe it is if you put some elbow grease into the idea. Like that's where the two signs can work really good.
Like, I feel like in his career that would be positive energy to have, actually, like to paying attention.
I think it can be positive for anybody.
It gets a little like wild. And
the downsides of Virgo is just it's a sign that holds a lot of guilt.
True.
There's a lot of guilt and self-judgment.
Because they're critical of others, but they are very critical of themselves, though, too. Like 100%. And it wants to take care of.
And like Pisces in the universe is like perfectly imperfect. It's so imperfect, but it was perfectly designed to be that way. And Virgo has to accept that.
Yeah.
We get perfection. We get things clean. Like, I could clean that table and dust it,
mercurial.
But it's just going to collect dust again. It won't stay perfect and clean forever. Nothing will. That
is perfect. Like, it literally is balancing your mind with your heart.
Right.
Your head with your heart. Because Pisces would be the heart, and Virgo is the mind. I mean,
Gigi,
it's Mercury,
what a dog.
Senor. Oh, and hello, Lana. Haven't seen you.
I haven't talked to Gigio in a long time.
Hello, everybody.
Gigio is a great musician. You should check out his channel, and you should really watch his Scorpio song. He's got a music video on Scorpio. It's so funny. Senor Gigio.
That
Scorpio video cracks me up. I love it. He's
Yeah,
so funny.
ground those thoughts. I like that one too. And Chris put, thankfully, my business partner and bandmate is a Virgo sun. I've learned, yeah, so that can be like a vibe too.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, yeah, but it really is mind and heart
I
and
miss you too,
balancing
bro.
them.
Miss you. Gigi is a real one.
I work a job I can't keep an earbud in. Good. Yeah. How do we buy these candles? Oh, soon. I'm putting them on I'm going to put them all on Etsy, but then it's going to be linked to my
Or just flutter DMs on Instagram and be
yeah,
I
like
want
that's
candles
the other thing. If you guys
now.
want, like, on Instagram,
And she will have no choice but to give you the candles.
Yeah, no, of course. And I can send them and everything because I have like 25 of them made right now.
She's got a lot. She probably has more than 25 made. Honestly,
I'm in a very like transitioning. I'm trying to be more into my Pisces and projector life. But you can all, yes, that's a good, until they're actually live on my site in Etsy, you can absolutely DM me and I can take pictures, or if you want a custom made one,
custom made candles and bracelets.
It's kind of like I just go with whatever the energy is of the day. It's like sometimes I'm just like cutting things out and I'm like, oh, that looks cool. And then I'm like, but of course I'm always setting an intention with these and like kind of, raking the candle and then putting all the witchy, which Virgo's very witchy too. Yeah.
Actually, some of the witchiest women I know are Virgos.
Yeah. And like, it's just all about the intention. Like, of course, the intention that I'm putting into it.
I think that's a Scorpio third house too. Mm-hmm. Like their mind works in a very occult way. Mm-hmm. It can work in a very, of course, linear, logical, earthly way, but it can also, when it finds the other side, it can go. It's a very penetrating mind. That's why Virgos are so smart too. That mind goes deep.
I always forget that my third house is Scorpio. I'm like, oh, no wonder I just want to constantly figure it all out and go deep. Mm-hmm. It's like, and Virgo's also the detective, so they can dig. But yes, I guess for the next 2 weeks, I'm gonna get this site done. I just. Right? When it hits, it hits.
I'm ready when
I
you're
guess
ready.
I'm just like, I'm like, I don't really need to create anymore. And I just keep telling myself that. But I'm glad that you guys like them. I have so many different kinds. And that not only just like the design and like everything that I like put into it, it's the intention. It's literally.
I like the gold flake.
I know. Oh yeah, the gold flake I love. Gold is like Egypt. It's abundance. It's but that I put in, like, I go to an herb, like an apothecary shop around here, and so like I'm very Virgo with that. I'm like, okay, what's this, and this, and then it's just like I put it all in there, the essential oils, and it's literally, to me, it's like, yes, decor, but it's like set your intention. It's a manifestation candle. Like it's a magic candle.
Yeah, I mean, candles are very ritualistic.
Yeah, and like this one's actually a black candle. And so like, right, black is like for protection and, transmuting energy, shadow and light. And yeah, I just like, I want people when they look at them, like it's like uplifting, but like energetically in every way. So
every way.
Yeah, and then gosh, the amount of like bracelets and jewelry too. But we will do a show and like showcase all that. But I'm glad that you guys like them. And just DM me and we can go from there until they're like actually all up.
Yeah, and for anybody that watches later, I have her Instagram in the description if you don't know it.
Oh, I just noticed that you put a welcome to live with. Yeah, I didn't see. Oh, nice. Sure did. Nice.
Yeah, I'm always doing something.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is a way too that I could set up a bunch of those, and if we had like topics, I could like change the topic below to keep it very to the point, but
yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah, so anything else? Do you guys have any final questions? This Pisces needs to eat.
Yeah, I'm hungry too. All I had today is 2
Oh,
chocolate chip cookies.
I love it. I'm like low carb, and I'm just like, here, babe, here's all the
Yeah, you're
sweets.
demon.
I know. I
She
gave
will
him.
diet and she'll just buy a bunch of sweets for me, and I'm like, can I diet too? Can I not be
Mm,
skinny? Can I be
no,
mini?
you were in that
And
vibration.
just
Now
gotta
you're
be
like, no, I just want sugar, 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 sugar,
sugar.
sugar. And I'm telling you, like when gosh, sugar, I'm gonna say is definitely
Oh, it's a hell of a
worse than
drug.
cat. Yeah, it's got that's like it's like heroin because when I literally those first 3 days of like being low carb or I don't know now they call it keto. I'm like so old school. I'm like it's just low carbs, and I just feel better when I eat that way. Um, I had the worst worst headache. I was just like, oh my gosh, this is terrible. Like I can see why people have to keep eating it because that euphoric hit, But babe, you don't do drugs or drink or, you just play video games in your vape and, those are like your two, I guess. And sugar. This one likes sweets. This one likes sweets.
I got sweet tooth.
I love like chips and like salty thing. I like salty and sweet, but yeah, I've definitely ate my fill of sweets since we have been together.
I don't know why, but my hands press enter after each thought.
Who said that? Oh,
Probably the chat spammer.
Lana.
Chat spammer Lana.
Oh, jeez.
If I didn't know any
yeah.
better, I thought we were just in a conversation with Lana. I'm just kidding.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, I'm impressed with you too, Lana.
Anybody else addicted to sugar?
North Node Gemini. Good for you. Yeah, you're a Leo. Just
Right.
what are you gonna do? You gotta be you. You gotta be you.
When I quit sugar, I dreamt of eating a dumpster full of ice cream. Yeah.
Hell yeah, Jenny.
Yeah, you haven't had ice cream in a while. It doesn't matter. It's like what I sent you upstairs yesterday was like, go play that new Call of Duty.
I'm a hoe for pumpkin pie too.
Oh, but what is the one thing that you actually said you could like do without? Was it
Cake?
Yeah, maybe it was like cake.
I like cake. What was it? I said that about something.
I think it was cake.
I don't need cake. Cake's okay.
He loves
I
cookies.
like pies. I like baked. I like bakery stuff.
See, and my favorite is milk duds and hot tamales together, and oh my god, it's life changing. You like that combo? I introduced you to it.
Ooh, I like wasabi peas.
I like salt.
I
love chips.
I'm on a seafood diet. I see food. I eat it.
Yeah, so I was like, why do
I
you
have a
feel
very
like you have to actually
sophisticated palate where I just eat everything. I'm just a fucking garbage disposal.
You said when we were watching something the other day because he loves Survivor, so I have to like really power through the show with him because doesn't interest me that much. But the guy's like, yeah, I'm an emotional eater, and he's like, yeah, I feel you, bro.
I feel you, bro.
Oh, are you an emotional eater, babe?
Yeah, kinda. I'll eat when I'm bored.
Oh, I did. The moon is like really. Yes, it's huge, and here it's like peeking through the trees, and it's like misty. And I went downstairs, and it was pitch black. I was like, oh, I don't like this. Got to turn on some lights, because God, it's only 5:45 here, and I was like, I cannot believe that it's literally pitch black out right now.
'Tis the season. It's just gonna get darker every day until the solstice, and then Capricorn's the light bringer. And it gets lighter every day.
Is it like a super moon?
I'm the light bringer. What?
Is this moon a super moon?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
But I don't really follow those that much. Like super moons and stuff. Like they're all super moons to me.
I always feel like it looks.
I'm more
biggest,
interested
like,
when we get
after.
like a blue moon. So when we get 2 full moons in the same sign, like those are more interesting to me because it's more astrological. Where the supermoons are more astronomical. They're
Yeah.
cool. I mean, hey,
I
the bigger the
love
moon, the bigger the moon, the better. But
And honestly, we just like that is the best place about where we live is like it's the surroundings, like it's like all these trees and then the moon comes out and you're just like, oh, it looks ominous. And yeah, we got a good, we should get a telescope,
I agree.
you know.
I do. I know.
Yeah.
I could take pictures through it too. That'd be sick. Super sick.
Oh no, his food does make him happy. Yeah, 100. That is Grigio.
Gigio.
He said as long as it makes you. Oh yeah, that's why I said it's like, babe, you don't, you know.
I'm a simple
We
creature.
all have to have a vice, right?
I'm a simple creature. Some food, some video games, some entertainment. I'm pretty
I
good with
know.
it. But I like to go out. I mean, I like a lot of things, so it's hard to.
Right. It's just gotta be, you know.
I just don't complicate things. I'm very.
That's the one thing I love about you is that we really do like to be at home. But when we
Yeah.
go out, we go out. It's like, yeah, we're very old souls, and I like that. I'm like, okay, because I feel like everybody else I've been with, they're like, yeah, we gotta go do, and I'm like, God, I don't have the energy for that.
Nah.
I like my space.
My space. My space, my space, my space. Kind of a creepy place.
And no,
No, the website.
This is a. We had like a lady. I think we talked about that last time. Yeah, we had like 20 ladybugs. I was like, we're protected because
Oh yeah, we have a ladybug. We have a ladybug infestation.
Got lots of them. So I was like, oh, okay, prosperity, abundance, creativity. Yeah, and Sterling loves that. He's like, it's like we're protected. You see all of these, and he's. Yeah, I'm like, all right.
Oh, he loves ladybugs.
You know that this home is protected.
When he was like 2, I bought him like a whole pack from like the grow store of ladybugs.
Oh,
like
really?
The nursery. They sold like a
real ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I got him like a whole thing of it. Oh my God, he was happy kid, happy camper.
He loves animals.
He does.
Well, we love you guys.
Yeah.
Thank
thanks
you
for hanging
again,
out.
Chris, so much for our
Chris, thank you.
microphone. Now we can like at least
I'm sure it sounded
be in
a lot
alignment.
better. I did see it peak a couple times on that mic, so I'll have it.
Oh, are
I'll have
you
it
being a Virgo
bit.
now?
I do with this stuff get a little.
He's being a
A
Virgo.
little Virgo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Channel all that Virgo progressed energy into.
Yeah, it's right. Well, I got
creativity.
Mercury in Capricorn in the 10th, and my 6th house is ruled by that Mercury with Virgo. So, like, I think anything that I'm like putting out to the public, I do kind of want it to be like solid and like a good production. Yeah.
Well, of course, I
care.
I can tell you we're up here for an hour, and I was like, does it take that long to get it all set
does.
up?
I have to move
know.
cameras and
That's why I'm like, that's not my
hook
wheelhouse.
things up and update a phone that took 30 minutes to update so that we could get this kind of quality.
Oh, thank you, Nikki.
Because it's a lot better than it was.
I think I got a YouTube bug on my pad. Well, we love you guys, and we'll be back soon.
Yeah, we'll see you soon.
Sooner than later. And I don't know, what is there even like a next big astrological, maybe when everything gets I think Mercury's on my Neptune right now, meaning
Neptune
it's
goes
like
direct.
by the galactic center. I think
Neptune
Mercury's
goes
on the
direct
galactic center.
December 6th, which is my grandma's birthday.
It's going retrograde.
No, direct.
Are we in a retrograde right now?
Yeah.
Oh God, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, Neptune, Uranus, Chiron. They're all direct. Or they're all retrograde at the moment.
I didn't, because Mercury goes, it's like, I don't probably pay attention. Jupiter goes direct on your birthday. I'm excited about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Mhm.
Lana, you made an appearance. You can always go back and watch if you feel called to. Yes, it'll be however that manifests. I don't know how long that takes. Right? Doesn't it just upload right away?
A video? Depends on
Our
your internet
video.
connection. Oh, no, this will go live right away.
Yeah.
That's the
But-
beauty of the live is they just, boom, they're uploaded.
Thank you, Esperanza, Nikki, all of you. Thank you so much. And we love you guys. And yeah, we'll just be looking at that moon.
Look at it.
Yeah.
All right.
Love
Love
you
you all.
guys.
Have a beautiful
Mwah.
week. See you
Have a
next
great
time.
day. Bye.
Peace.